Hello there everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 22 My Team Career Mode. We are now at round 3 in Australia. If you haven't seen the last one from Jeddah, I urge you to go back and do so before checking this one out. As usual, this is your last chance to do so before spoilers. Well, off the back of a points finish and lots of great wheel-to-wheel action in Jeddah, we are here to keep the ball rolling, as it were, but unfortunately an upgrade that we put down has failed. So, it's a bit of a setback, but we're going to do our best to keep going, keep the upgrades coming in. We have reinvested in it, but it's a big sidestep. Anyway, let's take a lap of the newly modified Australian Grand Prix as I missed the apex there by a country mile. Park a bus in the gap between me and the apex. Coming into 3 then, the wall on the outside is closer, but this corner feels just a little bit wider, so allows more speed through that corner. This one's the same as is the next one, but it's through the next corner now that you're going to notice the changes. This corner, which used to be a 3rd gear, quite tight corner, is now quite a quick 5th gear corner, so you can really fling the car into it. There is no chicane anymore, so it's one long, well, I don't really want to call it a straight, but it's one long flat out sequence of curves as we now head into the left-right chicane. Clip that apex, clip that one, try not to take too much curb on the inside as it will just rip apart the under tray. And the next corner is a bit more refined. They've changed the curb on the inside and it's just a little bit tighter. This corner unchanged, and then you've got the left-hander here which is a bit wider, again allows for just a little bit more speed, and the exit here much of a muchness as we head onto the pit straight, and that is a lap of the newly modified Australian Grand Prix circuit. And if I'm honest, that is not a fantastic lap at all. So we need to do better, and we are doing better here. We've missed the apex, clipped the curb, didn't take too much of it, and as you can see we're up to 6 tenths up. So this might actually be a decent lap. Missed the apex there, but that's okay. We've run out a little bit wide, not too wide. And I'm really liking this newly modified circuit. I prefer it actually to what it used to be, so I can actually have a bit of fun driving the circuit now. We've made quite a lot of gains and we are up into P14. Is this potentially a Q2 appearance on the cards? The answer, unfortunately, no, it's not. As we're going to scroll down, it was not enough. It's P18 though, and again, we're only a couple attempts shy, so maybe it's on the cards soon.
It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix ever. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, George Russell and Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Magnussen and Lando Norris, Tsunoda, Sainz, Mick Schumacher and Gasly, Ricciardo, Joe, Sebastian Vettel and Joker, Ticktum, Stroll, Albon and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their...
Here we go then.
The formation lap of the Australian Grand Prix, and you can see once again Charles Leclerc just missed the new Mr. Saturday on pole once again. Will he convert this one into a win? Incidentally, he's starting on soft tyres, so he's going to be mighty quick off the start of this race.
Almost ready to take the start of the
We
race.
are, however, on mediums, as is the rest of the field. I think the only drivers on soft were the Ferraris and the Aston Martins, so the Aston Martins are going to be pretty aggressive off the start, and I think they're looking to try and move a few positions up the field. And you know what? The soft to hard strategy, that does look like it can gain you some places early on, so maybe worth trying on some circuits where tyre wear isn't such an issue. But for now, we are lining up on the grid. It is time to get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. We've got 29 laps ahead of us. What can happen here? We are on the grid now. 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go, and you can see Vettel got a great jump off the line there. Vettel's really got going on those soft tyres, as does Stroll. As predicted then, both Aston Martins really good off the line. I'm getting kind of squeezed out here, but we've lost a place, we've lost a couple of places as we go down to 21st. Tictum and Albon are battling each other, and there's a traffic jam of cars here. I'm just trying to get my elbows out and force my way through, and that's what I have done against Tictum and what I think is Albon. So we've squeezed through them two, although they're trying to force their way back past, but I've gone round the outside, and while they're fighting each other, I have taken the place off them. So, albeit we have lost a place, it's not the worst start in the world, and I think we can make gains. I think opportunities in this race will bring themselves to us. So for now, it's just a matter of playing the patient game, and Vettel really getting racy up ahead there. So I think he's trying to get himself into a cheeky points-paying position. They're all jostling here. They are all jostling for position. This is great to see. There's a lot of will-to-will action here. I'm trying to go around the outside of Zhou Guanyu, but again, like in Jeddah, Zhou just having none of it. He's now trying to get past Stroll, and he's now compromised off the corner. This could be a chance. Zhou Guanyu now moves defensive, so I'm going to go to the left. Zhou coming back across again and nearly squeezing me into the wall. I then have to dive up the inside. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. He moved once there, so I then move, and then he just tries to squeeze me into the wall. Surely that should at least be a black and white flag there. But I then take the dive and go back up the inside. I have gained the position, but that defending was dangerous. Anyway, we are now up into P18, chasing down Ricciardo and Stroll. The Aston Martin will be quick for a few laps, but I imagine those softs won't feel good forever. As we once again have a stop and think about this, as a yellow flag up ahead, and that's Lando Norris, I think, that's been round. It is Lando Norris. What happened here? You're gonna see it now. Lando just coming into turn 1, hits the curb, and round it goes. And that is the perfect 360 there. You know what? I'll rate that one a 9.5. Brilliant stuff. And he recovers well, and he is back in the running. And speaking of back in the running, I am having a look at Lance Stroll for P16. And that is a textbook overtake. Straight down the inside. No fuss, no drama. And we have gained a position there. And you can see once again, just a very textbook overtake. And we are starting to move our way up the field just a little bit. And I am feeling maybe not the potential for points, but a decent result is on the cards here. I'm hoping we can get points if a couple of cars ahead of us drop out, but I don't think we're in the pace to be in the points. I think maybe just outside the points, but we are soon going to see. Right, Ricciardo and Vettel up next. Let's see how far up the field we can get. These two old teammates, so there's going to be history there. Ricciardo's going to have a look, I think. Yeah, Ricciardo has a look, and Vettel just shuts the door. Is there a way through past Ricciardo while he's lost a little bit of momentum? Answer, no. We're not close enough. If we try it there, we're just going to end up having a silly little incident with the McLaren driver. So, not worth trying this time. However, next time round it should be closer. Meanwhile, we're watching Dan Tixham. He's in a fight with both the Williams. Oh dear! Oh dear, Dan Tixham's had a spin. Round it goes. He'll recover that though. Not what I want to see from my teammate. Look how close these two are now though. Vettel and Ricciardo. Tucked up behind is Ricciardo. He's going to have a look round the left kink here. Oh my days, if these two lose momentum fighting each other, we could have a way through. But right now I'm boxed in the corner. That is not where I want to be boxed in. These two are still side by side with each other. Ricciardo's got the moves on. Vettel's compromised. I'm trying to get through and find space, but Vettel shuts me out. And now Vettel's having a look at Ricciardo. I'm trying to get around the outside of Vettel, but I'm so boxed in there with nothing I can do. Vettel's still up the inside. His momentum is... He's lost momentum there, but look at that. I could have gone around the outside if I wasn't boxed in there. And there was no way past Vettel here, but maybe on the straight with a bit of DRS and what's left of our overtake, we have very little. And I will say this, on this particular game, it gets used up very quick as we dive down the inside of Sebastian Vettel. A nice little dive bomb there to take P15, sorry. And next up, we are chasing down Daniel Ricciardo. Now, I'm getting behind him, but the problem is I don't have the straight line speed to get through. I'm quicker in the corners, but I'm not quicker where it matters. Sainz now is right behind me, having stopped. I'm not wasting any time fighting the smooth operator here. Otherwise, I'm just going to compromise my own race. I'm not fighting that Ferrari that is ridiculously quick. He might, however, be able to, when he catches Ricciardo, compromise him a bit, and there might be a place gained from that. But Ricciardo has gained a bit of time on me this lap, so I don't think we're going to get that particular opportunity. My next best bet on Ricciardo is to wait for the pit stops and get a little overcut on him while he's using that lap to warm up the hard tyres. The undercut pretty much doesn't work on this game. I have had a few practice races and tried the undercut and it just doesn't really work. So the overcut is one of the best ways to do it because they're heating up the hard tyres and it's going to take a lap or so to get them up to temperature, and they do lose, the AI do lose up to 2 seconds doing it. So that's where I can potentially get Ricciardo. That's Lewis Hamilton ahead of me, and I timed that pit stop pretty poorly, I'm not going to lie. But we've made the stop. It's a 3-second stop. Is it going to be enough to keep ahead of Ricciardo? He's coming down the straight now, and I think that is enough to get ahead just. But we're going to have a tough time warming up these tyres, and Ricciardo's going to get very interested while we do so. Look at that, he's right behind me. Is he going to have a look anywhere? No, he does not. We just maintain the racing line for now. The only thing we can do. And Ricciardo, is he going to... He's tantalisingly close, but there's nowhere really that he can get through. So I think we are pretty safe in this position for now. And in fact, yeah, in fact, we are able to keep Ricciardo behind us. Meanwhile, here's Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher going at it, and Schumacher just goes straight down the outside of Gasly. That's a great move by the Mixster. Up into P12, he's having a solid drive there. Meanwhile, in P13, we are trying to catch Mick, but we are just not quick enough.
5.9 seconds.
Carlos Sainz now out of the race. Let's have a look and see what's happened there. Engine failure on the Ferrari, and that's going to leave the race leader Leclerc just a little bit worried. Carlos pulling off. You can see there Leclerc in the lead. And we're now going to see a Williams coming to a halt. I think that might be King Latifi. But we do push hard to try and catch Mick Schumacher. But in the end, we're not really able to catch him, as what we're doing effectively is matching his pace. But the Haas is quite a decent car, so it is uplifting that we were able to match the pace, at least around here, of Mick Schumacher. I feel like we need a lot more upgrades on this car though. And the AI are starting to upgrade too, so given that we've had a couple of failed upgrades, that's the last thing we need. But for now, it's P12 and what I think is a very decent result. I feel like we achieved the best of what we could with the car we had. So I will accept that. That's a decent result.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions, and perfecting the team strategies. They got all those things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
So Charles Leclerc taking an absolutely commanding victory. Verstappen gets second, then it's Perez rounding out the top three, followed by Russell, Hamilton, Alonso, Magnussen, Ocon, Bottas and Tsunoda. Mick Schumacher taking 11th. I feel like we really did do the best of what we could with the car we had. Lando Norris was catching me towards the end there. And Ricciardo right at the end losing a place to Zhou Guanyu. And yeah.
Well,
Tixon gets 19th, so disappointing day for him. I don't feel like we left anything on the table there. I really feel like we got the best of what we could. It is a little disheartening that we pushed that hard and it's not good enough for the points, but we're going to keep upgrading the car, keep pushing on. It's early days, so I'm quite happy with that result, to be honest. And Verstappen maintains the championship lead, but it's getting interesting now because Leclerc is starting to gain momentum here, and I do wonder, is there going to be a change of lead soon? Fernando Alonso also holding on to P5 in the championship, and in the Constructors, Haas have now overtaken us for P8 as Magnussen gets their first points of the season and gets the ball rolling for them. Well, thank you for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new here and you want to see more from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe, TTFN guys, ta-ta for now.